Well, and thank y'all for letting me go first. Tell you what I've been asked to do. I've been asked to talk for about 10 minutes about myself and not bore you. So those that know me, think about that. Is it even possible? But I will try. I do have an entrepreneurship degree from University of North Alabama, and it has come in very, very handy, and I suggest any of you that want to follow that path do so. What I'd like to do, I'd like to talk a few minutes about my company and how I started it, where we are, what we're doing, and then talk a little bit about innovation and how that's affecting our company as well. I started my company in 2007, started it in my home. It was just me, a truck, and some equipment that I had purchased and had stored at a friend's place. I was borrowing warehouse space. My first employee I got at a gas station, literally while I was getting gas. And I had a big tent to put up. It was a 40 by 60, probably twice the size of this room, with a bunch of tables and chairs. It was a wedding reception, and I was just going out there to do it. And I saw a guy smoking a cigarette on the sidewalk. He looked like he didn't have anything to do that day, and I said, "Hey, what you doing today? Get in." And that was my first employee. Currently, I have right at 17 employees, and that's, 8 years later. I have a storefront at Parkway Shopping Center, and I'm currently located, I have about 6,900 feet in the Shoals Entrepreneurial Center, and I just purchased my first warehouse, which is a 20,000 square foot warehouse, and we hope to move in that by the end of the year. So we're growing at a fast pace. I've had, since year one, we grow annually about 25% each year, and that has continued, and every year I think this is the year we'll plateau, and it just hasn't happened yet, so I've been very fortunate with that. As far as what we do, we're very big in the prom business. My store at Parkway Shopping Center has tuxedos and prom dresses. How that came about, one day I was at a November board meeting, and Steve Holt asked me if I'd talk with an individual who had some tuxedos who was going out of business, and I said no. I didn't really want to get into the retail side of things, but I'll give him a call. I talked to him. He said, "I'd like to sell them. If I don't sell them, I'm going to rent them in the spring and tell them not to bring them back." Now that's ready to sell. So I did recognize that opportunity, did it, and it's been very successful. We also do a lot of set building, where we actually go out and build the prom sets and do a complete turnkey prom. And the prom sponsors love that. Anytime that you can make someone else's job easier, they love it. So they give us a budget, we throw them a couple of themes, we build a set, and they use it, and then we repurpose it and use it again. How I got that idea is all these prom sponsors basically build all this out of cardboard, and they buy them out of these catalogs. And if you can imagine 50, 17, and 18-year-olds with glue guns on day of prom and trying to manage all that, that's a tough job. And then you throw it all in the dumpster at midnight. And I thought, if I could use those for patterns like you use with clothes and build them and paint them and make them where we can continue to use them, that's a win for everybody, and it worked. Once we get through prom season, we're into wedding season. May and June just take off with weddings and other events, Arts Alive and other things like that. And we stay really busy with that through the summer. And then in the fall, we do Christmas lights. And you really don't think about Christmas lights as, a big business, but it's a really fast-growing industry. And I knew that when I was thinking about starting this company, that if I didn't find revenue in the winter months, I was going to starve to death. Who gets married outside in January? So started this company in May of 2007. So in October of 2006, I just ran an ad in the Courier about Christmas lights. And I sold about 10 jobs the first week. I was like, wow, maybe I'm onto something here. And again, it was just a one-man operation, working out of my home, set a little office up in an extra bedroom. And I knew if I could create that winter revenue, it gave me a lot of confidence going into starting a new business. And so now we do approximately 100 houses, and we do probably 20 or 30 commercial sites. We do all the Marriotts. Have any of you seen the Marriott at Christmas? We do the big tree, we do all the trees outside, all the smaller trees on the property. Last year we picked up a credit union. They've got about 12 branches from Columbia, Tennessee to Coleman. We do all of those now. Already getting calls for this year. So it's a very lucrative thing for us to do. Kind of leads into the innovation side of things. What we do is very, very labor intensive. It's very hard to clone because it requires a lot of training. We have staff meetings every morning at 7:30. Because when you've got 17 people and they're all going in different directions, you really have to stay on the same page, and I mean daily. Because one guy might deliver something and another person may pick it up and not know there's, dogs that are there or who knows what. And so we have to meet every day. And that's very, very hard to take something like that and make a cookie cutter model out of it. On the retail side, you can, and originally that's what I had planned to do. I wanted this. Our town does not have a retail party store. If you've ever tried to go and buy over the hill or birthday things, you can't find them. And I looked into that, and I got some very good advice from some folks that used to be in it. But the internet has killed that business. Matter of fact, the company over in Huntsville, Party City, they're trying to close all their stores right now and go exclusively online. And so that saved me a huge investment and loss by picking someone else's brain before doing that. But the cookie cutter stores would have worked 15 years ago. And what they were missing is they were all retail, and where my expertise is on the rental side. And if they could have thrown a mix of rental in with that, they could have really increased their margins. So anyway, had to back off from that. So I've been trying to figure out ways, where do we go next? Because if not, we would eventually go out of business because the industry changes. For example, right now, tuxedo shops are closing left and right all over the country. The trend right now is very relaxed weddings. Folks are getting married in barns. They're wearing jeans and boots and a vest. And you think about if you're full rental with tuxedos and all of a sudden 2/3 of your products stay on the shelf, I mean, the revenues have just been depleted. So we have to always come up with new things to become more diversified. And so about 3 years ago, my satellite company came to install my satellite service. And I just was observing all of this, and I had called an 800 number. A guy, I think from Haleville, showed up to install my equipment and trained me on it, and the product came by UPS to my front door. And I thought, man, that's efficient. That's really efficient. How can we capture some of that? And so the two most profitable things that I do are the tuxedos, and then my Christmas lights. So, I want to go for my low-hanging fruit. So what we're doing right now that is innovative, and we hope to maybe spin off a new company with this, and we're launching a pilot program over in Madison and Limestone counties this fall, is a Christmas light service that works just like that. And so my concept is this. I can use Google Earth and Street View to look at your house anywhere you live in the country. So I don't have to come visit you for sales, and I can email you your quotes. So how we're going to do this is we're going to train folks on the ground in other communities, and the target audience for this is double income with kids. And you think about that, double income with kids. They've got disposable income and small kids and no time. So, they want someone to do this for them. Right. So you call me, and I would pull up your address, verify that I'm looking at your house. And how I do it locally, I would come to your house and I can kind of walk it off and get it within 10 feet and say, you got 180 feet, it's this much. But we're going to do packages, just like Dish Network and DirecTV. You're either going to fall into the 150 to 175 feet or the 175 feet to 200 feet. Now our margin is much broader as far as the exact footage that we have to determine to create a price. So now you're buying a package price. And then I can email that to you. If you accept it, someone in that community, and what I'm going to use is firemen. So you've got all these firemen that need extra income at Christmas. They're trained, they know how to use a ladder, they're professional, they know how to stay safe. And there's a large degree of confidence in a community calling someone out of town when they tell you that a local fireman's going to come out and hang your Christmas lights. It's not going to be some guy that's going to show up without his shirt on. So we will give those folks iPads or notebooks of some type. And they'll have squares, and they'll call the customer and say, I've been scheduled to install your Christmas lights. We're going to do those next Thursday. I need to schedule a time that you'll be home, because remember, these are folks, double income, they're not going to be home. And I'll come by and train you. And then they'll swipe their card, and we'll get paid. And then the firemen, they'll work in pairs. They will get paid the following Friday of every job that they did this week. So now all of a sudden I've created positive cash flow. So I'm not cash flowing any of this. And they will get paid 2/3 of what they get paid to do this, because they've also got to go back and take them down. So you've got to have a retainer for that. Plus we warranty all the lights. So if you have a single light bulb go out during Christmas, it's right over your front porch, you're having a Christmas party Saturday night, you don't want that. So you would call the 800 number, and then we would dispatch the same person to come out and make your repair. They're going to show it with their iPad, they're going to turn the lights on, they're going to take a picture, they're going to replace that light, take another picture, and send it right back to me. We never had to leave the office. And now, if they don't, I've got a retainer that I'm holding that if we have to dispatch someone else, it's going to come out of their pay at the end. And then after December 31st, they'll go back around and take all these folks' lights down, and then they'll get their final pay. But remember, I was paid 100% up front. That's something I can clone. That's something that I can do that's cool, that uses technology, and doesn't require a lot of overhead. And again, it's the most profitable segment of my business. So that's what we're doing right now. And we're going to launch a pilot program again this fall. We've already started working on it. We're going to start hanging door hangers next week. And we hope to do maybe 50 houses just to see how this works over there. How I got the idea is I had to fly out to Vegas last year to a tuxedo show. If you sit on a window seat and you fly over Madison into the airport, try to count the rooftops before you hit the ground. I assure you, you will not be able to finish. It's nothing but rooftops. And I thought, we need to be over here. And so it's a perfect place for us to do a pilot program because it's close. And if it works, and we'll learn a lot by doing that, I can do this anywhere I want to. Because all I have to do is go out in the summer, go to a fire department, pitch what we're doing. I'll fly them here if I need to for training, but we can probably do the training there. And then, we got to work out our sales, because it'd be nice to get some sales prior to October 31st. And then we're off and running. And again, it's all done through an 800 number. We'll use trailers, have all the equipment in there. We'll wrap those, so that we've got national branding with that. And we'll deliver the trailers to the job site. And then the firemen will, most firemen are going to have a pickup truck, when you think about it. And they'll just tow the trailer around, keep it parked at their house, and at the end of the season, they'll give it back to us with all the totes in it, and then I'll keep them here at my warehouse. That's how we'll do it right now, because we'll start, obviously in a closer region. But, if we grew into beyond Nashville or grew into Atlanta or further west, we would probably end up leasing yards that we would put those things in. But we're very excited about it. We think it's going to take us to a new level. Again, I hope to maybe spin a new company off with this. And you think that you do this only about, you've got a 6-week window to get them all up. And it's kind of like fireworks around the 4th of July. There's just so much more demand than you can ever provide supply for. And every year we can't get to the jobs of the people that call us. And I've got friends that do it landscapers that do it in Madison that call me from time to time when they need product. And they stop answering their phone. And so it is a very limited time to get it done, but it drives the price point up to make it justifiable to do that. And we'll see how it works this year. But that's kind of us in a nutshell. It's probably a little more than you wanted to know, but I hope I've kept it to 10 minutes or less. But we love what we do, and and it's fun to get out of bed in the morning.